Welcome to Becoming Dynamic Catholics. I'm Father Christian, and today we're talking about something that's at the heart of Catholic life, parish life. Whether you're a part of a parish, you've drifted away from one, or you're just wondering if the church has something to offer, this episode's for you. We're asking, what makes a parish come alive? Joining me today is our pastor of Incarnation Parish, Father Rodel Balagtas. He's been a priest for over 30 years and has served as pastor since 2019, now beginning another 6-year term of leadership. His focus has been building a parish that is engaging, welcoming, and faith-filled. Today, we'll talk about what that looks like in practice and how every parish can grow in vitality and in faith. So, Father Riddell, you've often said your dream is for Incarnation to be a parish that's engaging, welcoming, and faith-filled. When you picture a parish that's truly alive, what does that look like for you?
Well, the first thing I think about is that when you see people really happy and joyful about coming to church,
Yeah.
that really is something that's so inspiring, and it just make other people get excited when they see joy
Mm.
in the people who come. They're happy because they found a community.
Yeah.
That's their home, so they found a second home. So when they feel that they are part of a community, that they're valued, they're recognized, they feel welcome, that makes a very engaging community or church. So and then seeing people happy about coming to church, from the ushers to the Eucharistic ministers, the lectors, and the priests,
Yeah.
God, we have to be out there, and people come when their priests are there welcoming. They're at the doors of the church. Um, and after Mass, both of us are there most of the time.
Yeah.
So that really makes an engaging parish when they, as they say, when they see a crowd, then you want to be part of the crowd, or you want to jump to the wagon where people are in.
Yeah.
So it's just that the influence you bring to people when they come to church. And the other thing is that when they see and hear good news, the good news of Jesus Christ, when they see that coming to church is not just, going there for an obligation, but you come to church because you love what you hear. And what you hear is making a difference in your lives, in your families, in your children. That's what makes an engaging parish, when people feel that they're fed by the Word of God.
Yeah.
And basically, it's all about, sharing the good news of Jesus Christ. And that's what we're about, to share the good news of Jesus.
Yeah.
So the other thing I'd like to share is that when I say when people feel valued as individuals, as members of a community, that means that we see something in them. We see what they can contribute to the church, to the life of the church. And for me as a pastor, it's always seeing their gifts, and I always think of a pastor as someone who mines gifts.
Mm.
In other words, you're trying to find those gifts, mining them. And there's a lot of treasures out there.
Yeah.
And the treasures are in people's hearts.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what make a parish welcoming and engaging, when they feel that they have something to contribute to the church. You just don't see them as envelopes,
Yeah.
but you see them as people who have something to share, uh, that they have a purpose, and that you really allow them to really understand what their purpose is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, you help them realize the gift that they are,
Right.
and then how they could share that gift with
Yeah.
others, because that's just what you do. It just comes from it. So you said that there's a sense of belonging,
Mm-hmm.
and that it doesn't just happen, because you said as we're engaging them, we're welcoming them at the door, we're seeing how unique they are as a child of
Right.
God. So what are some of the ways you've worked to make that vision a reality through like planning, programs, and parish initiatives?
Yes,
Yeah.
when I was at when I started at Incarnation,
Mm.
of course, what I first do as a pastor, coming in there as a new pastor, is to listen to
Mm.
people, to understand the community demographics,
Mm.
You don't go there and putting programs right there so that without even observing what people needs are, you know. So the first thing I think is listening. You gotta listen and understand what people are hungering for,
Mm.
and what the needs are, and you have to have know the history of the parish. So it's trying to get to understand where people are coming from. Um, and then after that is you not only listen, you try to converse with them, engage them in conversation. What what makes Paris alive, and what makes it progressive,
Mm.
and then you set the vision, and you set the vision with them. The first thing I did, one of the first things I did was really to look at the vision statement and our mission statement and come up with a vision statement. And the way to do that is not just your own, but to really dialogue with people, bring them together. That's what I did. I brought people together, parishioners who are engaged and who have what do you call this, who are stakeholders of the parish, the
Mm.
leaders, those who know the history, those who really value their community, and bring them into conversation and look at what we could be as a parish. Basically, a
Mm.
vision is, what do we want to be as a parish? What are our dreams? How can we make this parish alive? So it's setting the vision. So that's what I
Mm.
did. We put together a vision statement
Yeah.
and our mission statement. And not only that, not only to come up with that, is to allow everyone to embrace that vision. And our vision is very simple. It's to be a joyful, welcoming, and faith-filled community
Mm.
as the body of Christ on our journey to eternal life with God.
Mm.
So I remember once I was reading some literatures on leadership, and one of the
Mm.
things people say that vision is shared. It's not only your vision; it has to be shared with your staff, with the people you work with closely, and also with everyone. So starting from the janitor to the associate pastor, to the pastor, every one of us,
Mm.
really have to embrace the vision. Everyone should know what the vision is, and then we're working towards a common goal, a common vision of how we want to be as a parish.
Mm. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
Hmm.
Wow. So yeah, a lot of listening, dialogue, and hearing what the needs are, and
Right.
kind of responding to that.
Right.
It sounds like. So that's I know you've that would be for people who are like in the parish and have been
Hmm.
going to church. So then how have you tried to help people who are maybe like drifting away or maybe aren't involved in the church? How have you found a way to like welcome those who maybe haven't had good experiences in the church, or maybe those who just haven't had any experiences
Right.
with the church? What are some ways you've tried to like draw in those types
Yeah.
of people?
One of the things I really emphasize is that our staff
Mm.
should really make that vision happen. And our staff, not only me, not only you as my associate pastor, but everyone in the staff should be able to welcome people
Mm.
and get them engaged. So, and and also to, to be out there to not to really to, to engage in conversation, not to proselytize first, but really to know their stories, get to know them,
Mm.
create a relationship first with people. Like for example, in our parish, I try to um, talk with the parents of the school, or the parents of religious education, or parents of our youth
Mm.
ministry, and get to know them and try to be present to them. And I don't want to push too much, but I think the first thing you want to do is to develop a relationship.
Mm.
And I think some of us are doing that. Um, Things that are less threatening, but more of personal conversation or encounter with people where you know their stories and you listen to them. That's the first thing I do, is to create relationship first.
Yeah, I like that. Someone I once told me that you can only evangelize through relationship
Right,
because there has to be trust established before they even can believe that you could share good news.
right, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, totally,
And
totally.
it takes I mean, I'm not saying that I'm so extroverted that I could do that. Both of us, I think, have some
Introverted for
tendency
sure.
to be introvert. you know, and it's so hard. As a priest, you have to go out there. That's why I said, remember when I was in the seminary, I will tell the seminarians, don't be in the ivory tower. Don't just stay in your room in the rectory. You got to go out there. If you're a priest, even though you feel like an extrovert, you have to learn to be an extroverted guy. So just be there. I know it takes a lot of energy for other people, as you know, we talk about that, right?
Yeah.
You're not an extrovert, you.
Nope.
But it comes with the job. But you learn how
Yeah.
to be there.
Yeah.
So those people who are not engaged, I think we gotta approach them,
Hmm.
talk to them. That's not easy. I don't claim that I'm an expert on that. I mean, I myself have a tendency to be shy,
Hmm.
but just come at those events and show yourself when they're there, and don't be, in other words, um, don't get so discouraged. If they
Hmm.
if you don't see them as friendly to you or they shy away from you, you,
Yeah.
you gotta talk to them.
I'll have to remember that. Yeah.
Know that.
Yeah, so now you're starting your second term, right? So you've already
Yeah.
been at Incarnation for 6 years,
Right.
right? And then you're starting a new 6 year term. And in those past 6 years, a lot has happened, right?
Yeah, a lot,
So
including the pandemic.
yeah, I was
Oh
gonna say
my
the
goodness.
pandemic, the changes in the
Right.
area,
Uh-huh.
and just the growth in different
Right.
groups and communities. So, what do you think helps keep a parish moving forward towards that vision when there's
Mm-hmm.
so much happening, like especially like the pandemic?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Well, there are two things I added in the staff, I think, at the Incarnation. One is communication department. The director of communication, as you know, is Jacqueline Makabuhay.
Mm-hmm.
And then also we have the director of hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that those two important areas of ministry are now important, especially in today's time when we are into social media.
Yeah.
Evangelization is more than just an in-person class going to catechesis or CIA or maybe attending seminar. And just like what we're doing today, evangelization is really using social media, like this podcast that we're
Yeah.
doing now.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's how you move forward by really um, understanding where we are now and what are the ways and how we can bring people to God, to Christ. And one way is through social media. And that's why I hired a director of communication. I told Jackie, your job is more than just like tell what's going on in the parish, or be in charge of the bulletin or the announcement. But really, what your job is to communicate God's love, God's mercy,
Mm-hmm.
and use the technology to bring people to God. Because just in our parish, I was having a meeting with our parish council, and I was telling them, how are the programs doing, like Symbolon,
Mm-hmm.
and other in-person uh, programs we have. And I said, really, it's so hard because we're not getting the numbers. We're not getting the numbers. People are, and most of the people we get are actually older people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's that what's the answer to bring people? I mean, nowadays people are so busy. They're so involved in many things. So I think what we're doing right now, this podcast, is so good that we're reaching out to people. So I understand we even have viewers here all the way from Italy, right?
Yeah,
No,
I've
you
heard.
have So anyway, so one of the ways is the use of technology, the use of
Mm-hmm.
social media. That's why um, um, we have this. The other thing is, again, continue on that energy of welcoming people. So developing programs how you could we keep on welcoming people, training people to be more hospitable,
Mm.
and you know, reaching out to people, welcoming them. If there are new parishioners, you write them a welcome letter. Keep on reaching out to them. So that's why we have a director of hospitality, because that's, you know,
Yeah.
um, the you also have a program, our young adult ministry. I think that's very important. I think what we know that we're losing a lot of young people. Um,
Mm.
so how do we get our young people back to church? That's $100 question. I
Yeah.
don't know what the real answer is, but you
Yeah.
know that you're a young adult yourself. You
Yeah.
know how you feel. So one
It's
way is to
tough. Yeah.
have a young person like you, a young priest.
Let's hope.
They see somebody that they can connect, right?
Mm.
Promoting vocations. I think when they see young priests, really alive in their faith, like
Mm.
you. And I mean, I heard so many good things about your preaching. People love, they see freshness in the way you preach. And I think that brings people.
Mm.
Like, hey, I'm already been a priest for 34 years, so they don't. I've been.
A lot of wisdom to share, though.
Yeah, just bring, like having people like our youth minister Jeb,
Mm.
who is really, I mean, I think he's doing a fantastic
Oh, yeah, he's
job,
doing a great job.
and really bring out the proclaiming the gospel and sharing the kerygma. I witnessed him, talking to the parents and telling the parents how important it is to develop a relationship with God, with their children.
Mm.
Not being afraid nowadays to speak the truth. I think that's important.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
just really keep being passionate about what we believe, and not to be afraid to really show our faith in Jesus. Father Parker always talk about that in the
Yeah.
evangelization. I mean, uh, the other thing is this: in our staff, I try to. I'm looking. I'm always a person or pastor who would look for the 10 best practices.
Mm.
I don't have all the answer, so I try to look around and see what are the things that other people, what are the effective ways that other parishes are doing. You
Mm.
know, I remember when I first came to the parish, a, there's a movement called Amazing Parish, right? The
Amazing parent.
Amazing Parish. And how do you make a parish amazing? So, and one of several things that they said is this: you have to cultivate a culture of prayer,
Mm.
a culture of teamwork, and a culture of evangelization. A culture of prayer means that in our staff, we should be praying together as a staff. And that's why, if you remember, during our staff meeting,
Oh, we always start with
we always
prayer.
start with a
Yeah.
prayer. And
Mm.
it took a while to cultivate that.
Mm.
Honestly, I don't think every parish do that.
Yeah.
So to develop that prayer life, we start here. We have to be an example as a staff. I will tell them,
Mm.
let's start praying together. Let's pray before the Blessed Sacrament. Let's pray the Rosary together. Let's have a shared prayer.
Mm.
And the other thing is to work as a team. That we have to work as a team where we're not working as silos. Like
Mm.
individual ministry, but we're there to support one another as a
Mm.
staff. As a member
Mm.
of a staff. So working as a team.
Yeah.
And the third one I think is very important, is to be able to develop a culture of faith sharing. They
Mm.
call it a culture of evangelization, but more so it's a culture of faith sharing where, as a staff, we could share our journeys, our
Mm.
experience of God. It becomes a culture. It becomes a way of being, a
Mm.
way of doing. Well,
Mm.
sometimes it's so hard to be vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
to share to share our faith even among staff. But it has to start from us.
Mm.
It has to start from us. And
Yeah.
I also emphasize this. Me. I was in the seminary, yes, several years ago. I taught in the seminary. I I tell them, you wanna have a do you wanna have a happy parish? If you wanna have a happy parish, a joyful parish church, you have to have a happy rectory.
Yeah.
In other words, we have to learn how to work together.
Mm. Yeah.
And people see us if you really can, if we as the priests in in the parish work together, and we're happy working together.
Mm.
So a happy rectory is a happy parish. I can tell you, Father Christian, I could tell you stories. I can be honest with you. There are some parishes where priests are not working together.
Oh.
They don't even have meals
Meals
together,
together. Yeah.
and
Oh.
the associate is doing his own thing, the pastor is doing his own thing, and
Mm.
everyone. But how can people? I think it makes a difference when the priests are working together,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
people see that. And it translates into an engaging, welcoming, faith-filled parish.
Yeah, I don't know how, especially as a newly ordained a priest, could do it alone because I'm always asking you guys, what do I do here? Like, how do I do this? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I'm glad that we're doing that because
'Cause-
it's important that we develop this good c- communication.
yeah, totally,
And,
totally.
and I'm very honest with you, so I could say that I think I remember I told you, you have to bloom where you're planted.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, it's important to work with young priests because you are hungry for ministry. You want to do uh,
Mm.
a lot for the people of God. You are so creative. You come from the seminary and you just want to ministry. You want to bloom in your ministry, and that's I want you to grow in your ministry because I think these early years of your life as a priest are a defining moment for you.
Mm.
When I was a young priest, I could share that with you. My 2 years as a pastor, as an associate pastor, were not they were they were not good. I
Mm.
struggled with my pastor,
Mm.
and and so after 2 years, I asked the archbishop if I can move. And then my intern pastor
Mm.
took me in,
Mm.
and he knew how to work with me.
Mm.
He let me bloom. He
Mm.
allowed me to do ministry. Back then I was involved in youth ministry. I wanted to do youth ministry, to bring young people to the church, to work with the young people. And he just allowed me to bloom in that ministry.
Mm.
And that's the defining moment for me as a priest. One of the most beautiful years of my ministry as a priest when this pastor really tapped on my talents and my energies and let me grow in my ministry as a priest, and
Oh, wow.
it really saved me.
Really? Wow.
So it's just so working with you, it's been a joy, and I want you to really grow in your ministry, and I think that's it. Wow, when people see that,
I was
and
gonna.
there's
It sounds like what you do with people because you said at the beginning, like you see there's already gifts there. You just want them to
right,
blossom.
yeah,
So just like unlocking those to just let them be and let them flourish where they're planted.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Wow.
yes, yeah, I think there's a lot of challenges that we're facing now,
Yeah.
but one of the things we really have to have is a deep sense of hope.
Mm.
That we keep on hoping uh, for the church. And one of the things really I'm happy about now as a church, I think that's one of the questions
Yeah. Yeah.
probably you want to
The church
ask is
about
that,
today.
what keeps you hopeful? One of the things that I just came from the pilgrimage,
Mm.
and I went to see our Pope, the Holy Father, Pope Leo, and he's the one. Is I think he's bringing a lot of hope for us.
Yeah.
I'm really very, very happy about that, and very sincere when I say that. And that's why, we got to work with this Pope. You know, he's he's trying to unify people. There's so much division going on in our church,
Yeah.
and maybe that's one of the problems. I mean, that's one of the problems we have. So much division, right?
Yeah.
But I think we have to work together. Old priests, young priests, conservative priests, progressive priests.
Yeah.
We
All of
learn
it.
how to work together, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And it's so cool this Pope came during the Jubilee of Hope.
Yeah.
So it was really like God willed it. um,
Yeah.
yeah, he's been such a gift and such an amazing man.
Yeah, and also seeing young priests really are, I mean, it really fascinates me when all of you are still are really passionate about what you're doing. And when I hear great things and people are happy, when we have more vocations, that's important. That's very important.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And it's cool because we even have our own vocation, a seminarian in our
Yeah,
parish.
no, that's true.
His ordination's coming up, so
Our centennial
yeah.
priest,
Carlos,
newly ordained.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such an honor to get to walk with him,
Right.
especially.
I want to also tell you
Yeah.
the generosity of our people,
Mm.
our parishioners. You know, people have been there for a long time. I mean, and the reason why we are, we are a great parish. I would say I would claim that.
Mhm.
I think we're doing a lot of good things.
Mm.
I think we're doing well. But I also I will also say that it's because of our people who have been so generous financially. They're so giving, and when they see things are improving, like physically things are improving, like the church. We're
Yeah.
now doing restorations, improvement in our parish. When they see that, when they see a building is gonna exciting parish hall that's gonna come up soon, we're gonna have a groundbreaking. When they see that we're transparent about our finance, they trust us, they're happy. So this is one of the things that's important in administration. You're going to be a pastor, uh, you know, you have to learn to really be accountable and transparent with finance, to let people know where the money goes.
Yeah.
We will always have people who are going to be complaining. We all know that.
Yeah.
We can, as we say, we can please everyone, right?
Yeah.
But you just gotta keep on going. So, and then personally, I pray. I the first thing I do is spend time before the Blessed Sacrament, and I always tell the Lord, you gave me this parish. It helped me and how to make this parish, the parish that you want it to be. And I always ask Jesus, our Lord, Lord, what do you want? What do you need? How can we build this church? Right?
Yeah.
I remember the story of Saint Francis of Assisi. Remember when he was praying and they heard a voice saying, "Build
Yeah.
my church, build my church."
Build my church. Yeah.
I think even in today's times, we could be we could regress into too much negativism, or pessimism, or we can be disappointed and discouraged. But it's important always to listen to the voice of Jesus who tells us, "Build my church," to build my church.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. He trusts you to trust in him. Yeah.
Right.
That's how he works, through our hands in the
Right.
so odd, but he does it.
Yeah, and for us as priests, prayer life, it's important to pray together,
It's
to
an anchor.
cultivate your prayer life,
Yeah,
I mean, to ground our ministry in prayer. And I think when we do that, then we tell our staff members, our parishioners, our volunteers to do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep growing as a church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
God's generous that way.
And I just want to appreciate all our volunteers too. We were here, right, for
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we do have wonderful volunteers, and
Very
we need
much.
more. We need more people,
Yeah, it's more
right?
fun. You get to know us. We get to
Exactly.
know them. So true.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you so much, Father. This was awesome. I was gonna say you've shared a lot of this with me, like at our meals and stuff, but it's really
Right.
cool to get to share it with other people,
I
especially
know.
what you said, like blossom where you're planted.
Yeah,
It's
it's
very true.
and the same thing. I mean, it's been a blessing. I mean, I've had the young priests work with me. Each one is a gift. You have a gift. I mean, you
All
have
the
a gifted man,
things.
and I hope I'll be a good influence to you and inspire you to do your ministry.
Thank you for your
You're doing a
patience.
fantastic job. Hey,
Thank you.
my friend, to all our parishioners listening, Father Christian is doing a fantastic job here.
Thank you. Oh, you make me blush. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank
Uh,
you so much again. This has been awesome.
It's been awesome, isn't it? And
Yeah.
kudos also to our staff members.
Yeah,
Right.
totally. Couldn't do it without you guys.
Yeah, I know. Great.
So awesome. Okay, so how about this? How about for this week's challenge, think about how you could bring to life your own parish community. How is God calling you uniquely to share your own gifts? Like you were saying, like St. Francis was called to keep building up the church. If you haven't been part of one in a while, consider visiting again if you haven't been listening, and just show up and see what God might be doing there in your local church, wherever that may be. And if you're already going to a parish, find one small way to make it more welcoming. Maybe introduce yourself to someone you don't know. Maybe ask someone to get coffee after. That's always fun with coffee. Or maybe even invite a friend or volunteer some of your time. One really cool thing about churches is they have so many great people volunteering and working around it. So when you volunteer, you get to meet so many people that you never would have guessed. Just look at Jesus' 12 apostles, all very different men. So, Father Rodel, thank you again so much for
Well,
joining.
thank you. Thank you.
This has been
for-
awesome.
Yeah, I know. And it's been awesome.
And thanks for sharing all your insights and everything. And thanks for
Right.
everything you do leading us as the shepherd of the
Yes.
church
Yeah,
in our
yeah. I'm
parish.
happy.
Yeah.
So,
And thank you, everyone, for listening. If this conversation spoke to you, maybe share this to podcast with someone who you think might benefit from it, might be interested from it, whatever you think. And until next time, I'm Father Christian, and together let's become dynamic Catholics.